Senior Public Prosecutor Ujjwal Nikam now joins me on the broadcast, and I quickly want to cut across to him. Sir, even if Abu Salim is convicted today, we cannot, the country cannot hang him. That's an undertaking that was given to Portugal about Abu Salim. So I just want to understand from you, how significant will today's verdict be?
See, today's verdict is significant for two reasons. Because this is for the first time in the Indian legal history that the evidence which was adduced in the first trial that has been kept alive, and that evidence has been used in the second trial. Gaurav, I have conducted the first trial of serial bomb blast case, wherein I had examined about 686 witnesses, and when the trial was in the fag end, Abu Salim and Mustafa Dosa were apprehended outside India. They were brought in India, and it was made move by the Abu Salim and Mustafa Dosa that they should be joined in the earlier trial, which I strongly oppose for the simple reason, if I would have joined them in the earlier trial, the verdict of the earlier trial would not have come, and it would have come this year, and yes, that would have made an impact upon the sentence which have been awarded to 100 accused in the earlier trial.
Yes.
So I have moved an application that their trial be separated so far as who were arrested later on, and the evidence which has been adduced, that been kept alive, that can be used in this trial. And this is for the first time the Supreme Court has also endorsed the order of the Tada Court.
Yes.
Now what is the advantage of this order? That still there are some absconding accused like Dawood Ibrahim, Tiger Memon and so many others,
yes,
who have been hidden in the Pakistan. Now if they will be brought in, if they will be apprehended, the whole evidence which has been adduced in the earlier trial, that can be used against these people.
Yes.
So this is for the first time, this is a method and arrangement has been given, and I would say that this is, though Abu Salim, the question you have rightly asked, Gaurav, Abu Salim, King of India has given an undertaking to the government of Portugal. Therefore, that trial has been, that sentence has been reduced to 25 years. I only apprehend now Abu Salim is languished in jail since about 5 to 10 years, and if they were convicted, then there will be, though both sentences should run concurrently, or whether it should be not concurrently or consecutively, because that is an important issue.
Yes.
Now, therefore, we have to see today, if Abu Salim has been held guilty, what type of sentence the court awards to him. Otherwise, because he will remain in jail for further 5 to 7 years, and he will scot free. That is my apprehension.
No, but in case, so in a case like this, where Abu Salim played a very crucial role in getting the weapons from Raigad to Mumbai, in supplying the weapons to actor Sanjay Dutt, what is the role played by Abu Salim and a terrorist like Mustafa Dosa, who played a very significant role, and Mustafa Dosa, who was extradited from the UAE, sir?
Gaurav, that in December 92, there was a conspirator meeting in Dubai, which was headed by Dawood Ibrahim and the other Tiger Memon, others co-conspirators were present, and some Pakistan nationals were also present in that meeting. It was decided to export RDX, arms ammunition, to India, and Digi Shekhari, the arms ammunition were landed, and Abu Salim is a person who was given the task of distributing the weapon, and Abu Salim, before the blast, visited Sanjay Dutt's house in a one Maruti Tempo, and it was fully loaded with AK-56 rifle. Sanjay Dutt, and even the hand grenades were also there. Sanjay Dutt took out some hand grenades, and again he returned hand grenades. Then he returned one AK-56 rifle. That we all know. Sanjay Dutt has been convicted. That has been admitted by Sanjay Dutt in his confession also. So far as Mustafa Dosa is concerned, he was a close aide of Dawood Ibrahim, and Dawood Ibrahim consented to allow to use his smuggling channel so that arms ammunition RDS can be safely exported to India for exploding the bombs.
So in a case like this, what is maximum punishment for a gangster like Abu Salim, or a terrorist like Mustafa Dosa, what's the maximum punishment that you hope to get?
It would be very difficult to say at this juncture, because the court has to hold yet them guilty. But if the proven facts, if court held them guilty, then certainly we cannot ask for more than 25 years. That is the Lakshman Resha given so far as the extradition is concerned. So we are helpless. But considering the magnitude of the crime and the enormity of the entire investigation, they deserve a maximum sentence. But so far as
I've lost that connection at a very crucial stage of my conversation with Ujjwal Nikam. And remember, Ujjwal Nikam has been fighting these terror cases of Pakistan-sponsored terror even in 2611. He ensured Ajmal Amir Kasab was hanged to death, fought that case so beautifully, doing the same in the 1993 blast case. I want to once again go across to MK Jha, who covered these cases and covered the trial subsequently. MK, in a case as sensitive as this, maximum in case Abu Salim is convicted would be 25 years in prison. But one would feel that the magnitude of the crisis, the magnitude of the crime is such, in case he is convicted, because there's also a confessional statement, that 25 years in prison should be from the day of conviction and should not be concurrent to the earlier case.
No, that you're right, and Mr. Nigam was also clarifying on these points also. And since you have the government of India has given the undertaking to the Portuguese government that he can't be hanged, he can't be awarded death penalty. So, you know, the Lakshman Rekha is already drawn there. So now the case is, you know, what kind of the maximum punishment that court is going to award Abu Salim. His magnitude is, I mean, like, it's a treason, Deshdroh. So this is, there are all, you know, the charges are there, everything are there to give him the maximum penalty. But again,
absolutely, absolutely. And I have Ujjwal Nikam back. MK, stay with me for a moment. So, Mr. Nikam, I lost that line with you at a very crucial juncture when you were talking about what maximum punishment can the nation expect as far as Abu Salim and Mustafa Dosa are concerned. Please continue, sir.
Let me tell you, Gaurav, very frankly, the role of these conspirators is very crucial in the entire crime, because of their active support and assistance, the arms ammunition and RVX was safely landed earlier to the 12th March of 93 at DTH Shekhari port, and they were safely traveled to Mumbai, and because of their active support, the 286 huge toll was taken place, several people were injured, a massive destruction of the property has created. So I think their role in the entire crime is very serious and severe. But so far as barring Abu Salim, I think they deserve the maximum penalty so far as the rest of the accused are concerned, because these people have used their distributing channel for transporting as well as for safe landing of arms ammunition. So I wish, and the prosecution also should demand, the maximum sentence so far as the 6 accused are concerned, but only Abu Salim, he will get a very lenient view, that is the 25 years, since we have made it a commitment.
Okay, and that is where, you know, Mr. Sumit Verma, whether that 25 years of other cases and this case, they run concurrently or one after the other, or from the date of conviction, sir?
As far as the sentences are concerned, in case of Abu Salim, there would be a distinction, because he is bound, India is bound by the extradition treaty with Portugal, and the terms of extradition were that he cannot be granted more than 25 years of sentence. Therefore, most likely, even if he is granted a life sentence, it has to run concurrently. It cannot be a consecutive sentence. So far as other accused are concerned, including Mustafa Dosa and Karimullah Khan and others, their role is almost akin to what was the role of Yaqub Menon in the case of conspiracy of this terrorist activity. Therefore, they stand at parity with Yaqub Menon, and they can be awarded the maximum sentence of death. Abu Salim cannot be granted a death sentence because there is an embargo so far as extradition agreement with Portugal is concerned.
Yes.
25 years is a term, is a period which we cannot exceed, come what may. In all his 9 cases together, Therefore, there cannot possibly be a consecutive sentence. It has to be a concurrent life sentence. However, one thing I may specify,
yes,
which Mr. Ujjwal Nigam was talking of, perhaps on sentencing, there is now the judgment of Constitutional Bench of the Supreme Court which clarifies that a trial court cannot, while granting a life sentence, direct a mandatory minimum sentence of 20, 25, 30 years.
Right.
That was happening in a few cases earlier, which has now been, it has been held by the Constitutional Bench of the Supreme Court that this power vests only with the High Court or the Supreme Court in the appellate jurisdiction, or in commuting a death sentence to life. That a minimum mandatory sentence of 20, 25, 30 years can be made as a condition while undergoing life sentence. Therefore, the trial court has only two options: either give a life sentence or a death sentence. There will not be a death sentence to Abu Salim. Reason being, there is a Portugal extradition agreement.
Treaty. Oh, absolutely.
However,
of 2005.
Their cases, especially Mohammed Dosa and Karimullah Khan and etc.
Yes.
Their cases their evidence against them is almost akin to what was there against Yaqub Menon.
Oh, therefore, absolutely. And for that evidence, I'll just come to Deepak Salvi in just a moment.
But conspiracy same. Therefore, they can be granted the.
Ujjwal Nigam, I want to understand from you, sir, because in the first leg of the judgment, the Supreme Court had nailed Pakistan's ISI. It had nailed the role of terrorists, like Dawood Ibrahim Kaskar. But I want to understand from you, what can India do when it comes to Pakistan-sponsored terror, which the Supreme Court also spoke of, and in no uncertain terms, because the Supreme Court very clearly said that the Pakistan ISI had virtually given these terrorists a green card. They went from Dubai to Pakistan, underwent weapons training, came back, and their passports were not stamped, sir. So can we expect any action at all against Pakistan, state sponsors of terror in Pakistan, Mr. Nigam?
Gaurav, I am very sorry to say that Pakistan is not going to bother our judgments, our evidence. This has happened not only once and several times. And let me tell you very frankly, even in the serial bomb blast case, when we pointed out that how particular group of accused went to Pakistan and returned back to Dubai without making any endorsement on the passport, and this could have been happened only with the active support of the Pakistani immigration authority. Forget about that. Recently, by examining David Headley, I have produced the evidence of email correspondence between the Lashkar-e-Toiba as well as David Headley, showing mobile numbers, landline number of Pakistan army officer. We have furnished that evidence to the Pakistani authority, but they did not act upon it. So I have a little hope so far as the Pakistan would act upon any of our tangible evidence. I myself had visited Islamabad after the execution of Qassam. Pakistani authorities did not bother. They were asking and only demanding the evidence. We have to take a strong action against this country, but strong action will not army or the war, but very diplomatic action we will require to take it. And I think it is for the government of India.
Good point you're making there. Ujjwal Nigam, Deepak Salve, stay with me for a moment. I have to slip into a quick break at this stage. When we come back, we'll talk more about the role of the mastermind in this case, Dawood Ibrahim Kaskar, who's actually living in a 6,000 square meter plot in upscale Clifton, Karachi, and the evidence that India has about the role of Dawood Ibrahim in this case. Serial blast in Mumbai. A quick break. The evidence against Abu Salim. What's the evidence against Mustafa Dosa and the other accused in this case? 7 accused. They will now face judgment day. I want to cut across to Deepak Salvi, the CBI lawyer in this case. Mr. Salvi, want to understand from you, how solid is the evidence against people like Mustafa Dosa or Abu Salim and the other accused in this case?
There is solid evidence against all these accused. So far as Mustafa Dosa is concerned, there are confessions and the recovery of the material which corroborates to the confessions given by the co-accused, and his role is very important role because he had initiated the conspiracy, and first meeting of the conspiracy was convened at the house of his brother Muhammad Dosa, and he himself was present there. At that time, Dawood Ibrahim, Anis Ibrahim, and other gang members of the Bombay were all present there, and they decided and they conspired that they will send the arms and ammunition to India, and they will train the youth of Bombay for exploding the bombs and using the arms and ammunition, and they will cause the riots and bomb blast in Bombay.
Right. And
that evidence is there against the Mustafa Dosa, and so yes.
The fact that this meeting took place, there were meetings that took place in Mumbai, meetings took place in Dubai, the accused was sent to Pakistan, so there is an exit stamp on their passports that they went out, but there is no entry stamp into Pakistan.
Yes.
There is no exit stamp from Pakistan, but entry stamp into either Dubai or Mumbai.
Yes.
Does that not indict Pakistan directly of being complicit in the 1993 blast case, sir?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And the Supreme Court has said in short that the green channel entry was provided to these people by Pakistan and ISI. And that has been verdicted by the Supreme Court in earlier appeals.
And this actually brings us to the question at why is it that subsequent governments continue to entertain good relations or the desire for good relations with Pakistan when Pakistan has done nothing to address India-centric terror, when there is ample proof on ground that from 1993, in the 1993 blast, Pakistan was directly complicit in the massacre of 257 innocent Indians and injuries to more than 700. But I also want to come to one more point, sir. There are several accused who are still absconding in this case, including Dawood Ibrahim Kaskar, including Tiger Memon, 27 in all. What evidence do we have against them, Mr. Salvi?
There is sufficient evidence against each of the accused, whosoever is present before the court, whosoever is now facing the trial, who have faced the trial, and the verdict of which is coming on 16th June, that is today. And I think why government is soft on this issue is because we have the faith in the all central agencies like BBC, CBI and NIA and all these agencies, and we have the faith in the government also, because government is dealing it with very soft touch.
Okay.
So we cannot blame anybody why government is not doing this and that.
Okay, Mr. Verma, does that indicate, you know, you heard Mr. Salvi, the evidence that the government has been able to, the CBI has been able to put together, is that solid enough as victims seek justice, that justice will be delivered?
By all means, and in fact the very fact that on the basis of almost the same evidence there has been a verdict which has been upheld way up to Supreme Court, the same evidence, a substantial part of it would be read into this case, and this has been settled by the Supreme Court. The accused person was given the opportunity to cross-examine all those witnesses. Pursuant thereto, all that evidence would be read in this case, and therefore, because on the basis of the same evidence, 123 people were given a verdict, out of which 100 stood convicted. Therefore, these 7 would not stand to benefit out of it only because they were arrested later.
Absolutely. Tushar Deshmukh is the victim of the 1993 Mumbai blast case. It's been a very long wait for justice. We will talk to Tushar on the other side of a quick break. MK Jha continues to be with us. An eyewitness, someone who captured the 1993 blast case on his camera. It's judgment day in the 1993 Mumbai blast case. With me is Tushar Deshmukh, someone who suffered in the blast case directly. Tushar Deshmukh, what do you expect of the Tada court today? Is justice delayed, justice denied? What comes to your mind, or is it you know, whenever justice comes, at least it will come?
It's not the question that justice has delayed or it is denied. The question is that today we want relief after 24 such a long period. And when I was at the age of 13, when I lost my mother in 1993 bomb blast at Worli Century Bazaar, which was a very tremendous bomb blast, and even at the age of 13, I have not seen my mother's body. It was only the body's, the particles which had come to my place, and and which I have to see in that case. And today, after such a long period, it's not a question that what is going to be happen, but what we feel is that each and every one, from Daud Memon to all the people who are there in this case, should be hanged now. This is the only thing what we are getting a relief now, that we should literally come to hear that they're going to be hanged. And this is only the punishment, I think so, that we will be get relieved, and not only we, but the citizens of the India and everyone, those literally those who had gone in this 1993 bomb blast. I think 257 have been expired, whatever the people they are telling.
Yes.
It is not a correct figure, because many of them had lost their life, and it was not at all their thing that they have lost their life. It was only the bomb blast which this terrorist has been done. And definitely, I'll again tell you, Pakistan is there involved in this. It has been clarified, and now all the investigations have been done. So if we come to know today again the investigation or any part has been remained, so it will be a shameful day for not only us, for the victims, but everyone from the Indian Constitution. So
But,
I'm really waiting
Tushar,
eagerly for the thing.
I completely appreciate your sentiment, Tushar. You know, none of us can actually even fathom the pain you witnessed as a 13-year-old child in 1993. But Mr. Salvi, death penalty is what victims want as far as the accused are concerned, because whether they transported weapons, whether they were directly involved in planting weapons, the crime is as severe, the crime is as serious. Same punishment, sir? Is that what CBI is seeking?
Yes, CBI agrees whatever Mr. Deshmukh says. It is not that CBI is against anybody, but the thing is that once the charge under section 120 be read with 302 is proved beyond reasonable doubt, then in that case, yes, the accused should be hanged. And our justice system says it presumes that every accused is innocent until it is proved beyond reasonable doubt that he has committed an offense, and therefore it's a systemic delay. It is not a delay caused by anybody. It's a systemic delay which is caused usually, and in this case I must tell you that this trial was completed within a very short period, despite the fact that there were 750 witnesses and 48 defense witnesses, and thereafter arguments took place for more than 7 months for one accused, and of course other accused did not take that much time, and my arguments were over by 7 months, and therefore it's not a delay which is caused by anybody. And this court, actually I must tell that it was in such a hurry that he completed the trial as early as possible. He did not hurry it, but it was as early as possible he could complete it.
Yes.
So there is no delay on anybody's part.
Okay, but the fact that the accused were also brought in from other countries, you know, does this indicate, Mr. Verma, that the government actually kept at it? So whether it was getting Mustafa Dosa back from the United Arab Emirates or to get Abu Salim from Portugal, so wherever they were, efforts were made, and perhaps those efforts should continue either to bring Daud Ibrahim back from Pakistan or to neutralize threat that he poses to this country, wherever the threat is, Mr. Verma.
Certainly yes. And the way Indian government went about getting Mustafa Dosa and Abu Salim extradited, same effort should continue. The moment they are known, the whereabouts, permanent whereabouts of Daud Ibrahim are known, or if India can pinpoint with the substantive evidence that he is in Pakistan, India should make an effort by diplomatic means or whatever to get Daud Ibrahim, Anis Ibrahim and many others, Tiger Memon, who are still absconding, who are the masterminds of this crime. They are the ones who deserve a death penalty on the face of it. They should be extradited as soon as possible. These efforts should continue. Indian government has made efforts. Even Mustafa Dosa is as good a mastermind as Yaqub Memon was, and his complicity in the crime is equivalent to that of Yaqub Memon. And therefore, once the judgment of conviction is there, thereafter, so far as sentence is concerned, he stands at parity with Yaqub Memon to befit a death sentence, which was granted to Yaqub Memon and which was upheld way up to Supreme Court. As far as delay is concerned, delay will not be a factor in this case, because these people were arrested later. They had to be extradited from foreign countries. Their trial virtually commenced in 2012. even though they were extradited way back in 2012, they had moved petition in the Supreme Court due to which these trials were kept pending, and 2012 onwards only substantive trial commenced, and within 2017 we have a verdict, that too in a matter with such a mammoth evidence and 15,000 questions put to each accused in section 313 CRPC.
Yes.
Is substantive evidence of the fact that it was a very
significant trial,
enormous,
yes,
which had to be evaluated, and therefore this was the minimal time which was required.
absolutely.
And therefore delay would not be a factor which would come in the way of
a case that a terror attack on our country in 1993. So just watch Pakistan's strategy to bleed India through 1,000 cuts. That policy was in place even in 1993. When there is evidence, and that will once again perhaps be proven in court today, how the RDX came from Pakistan to India, how it landed along the Maharashtra-Gujarat coast, how some of these accused, and in a while from now, their names will be read out in the court, whether it's an Abu Salim, whether it's a Mustafa Dosa, whether it's a Karimullah, how these people transported that RDX into the heart of Mumbai city and killed innocent people. We'll also talk about Sanjay Dutt, who was convicted under the Arms Act, because these terrorists took the grenades and the assault rifles to Sanjay Dutt's upscale Pali Hill residence. Should Sanjay Dutt have alerted the police about what was to happen?